It's astounding, isn't it? The topic of the debate is the failure of the government to focus on the needs of Australians, and the previous speaker spent 3.5 minutes talking about the Labor Party, obsessed with politics. I would note, Deputy Speaker, it's the first time I think I've risen with you in the chair, and I voted for you, as the nation saw when I held up my ballot paper. The talk over the summer, before we came back here for this fortnight, of course, was about bushfires. The sky turned red and our cities were shrouded in smoke, and Australians got scared about the future, if this was a portent, and angry about the lack of leadership from the Prime Minister. Just at the very moment that the nation needed leadership, the Prime Minister and the government failed the Australian people. Now, there's been a lot of focus in the media and the community on the Prime Minister's holiday in Hawaii. I'd say I actually don't care about that. Let the bloke have a holiday with his kids. What I do care is about the fact that he lied to the media and snuck out of the country and refused to tell anyone who was in charge.
The member will withdraw that unparliamentary comment.
I withdraw lie. He did sneak out of the country without telling the media and try to get away with it. But that is not the real failure. The real failures in leadership are far more serious. He failed to prepare the nation for the crisis that was to come. The scientists have been telling the government for 6 months what to expect. He failed to invest more in aerial firefighting, the things that actually mattered. He didn't take advice. He wouldn't meet with the emergency services chiefs because he might have had to utter the C words, climate change, and he failed to prepare the public. Part of national leadership is taking the advice and explaining to people what might come. I've seen what good leadership looks like in Victoria. It's Daniel Andrews. I was there on Black Saturday in Victoria when John Brumby prepared the state for what was to come and then had the courage to face up and learn the lessons of failure. And there was a failure in response. He was too slow. We've seen Elbow being the Prime Minister all around the country from opposition. The smirk, the defensive, arrogant grin, the partisan ad-man response, asking people to donate to the Liberal Party. Australians are decent and fair. The interesting thing, though, is talking with people over the summer who voted Liberal but who aren't sold. They voted against us. Let's be honest. They didn't vote for the government. They voted against us. But they're suspicious of who the Prime Minister is. The polling says it, the research says it, the community tells you. There's a huge number of people who voted for this government who haven't really bought the product, and they don't understand the Prime Minister. But what they saw over summer was not just a bad month or two. This was that moment of crisis when the true character of a man, the true character of a government is revealed. People saw the true character of this government: arrogant, entitled, lacking empathy, forcing people to shake his hand, all spin and marketing, all about themselves. The Australian people don't matter to this government. There's no plan for bushfires. There's no plan for the nation. There's no plan for low wage growth. There's no plan for the economy. There's no plan for 110,000 older Australians waiting for their home care package. There's no plan for untold thousands of Australians waiting for their NDIS package after the government cut $1.6 billion to prop up their fake mythical surplus. There's no plan for jobs. And it's all Labor's fault, apparently, according to all those opposite. It's as if they want people to forget that they've been the government for 7 years now. This guy is not a first-termer. He's been the Prime Minister, he's been in the Cabinet for 7 years. And as we learnt this week, they don't even have a plan for themselves. They're chaotic, they're divided. On the day of the bushfire debate, they decided to have a leadership challenge and decide who was going to be leader of the National Party. Well, that went well. It's erupted a civil war which, Deputy Speaker, has led to your elevation, and as I said, that's a good thing. We're not reflecting on the chair we voted for you. Ministers resigning. My electorate, one of the poorest electorates in Victoria, got not $1 of an electoral commitment, not $1, because they were all out there rorting billions of dollars, spraying it around for their own political purposes.